That's right, the hottest searches of the week are in. This is Hot Clicks with Natasha.
Natasha's back. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What is the one thing you cannot give up?
Oh, this is not for my health because the question was prefaced for your health, right?
Not really.
Not really. Well, the one thing that I can't give up for my happiness is simple carbs.
Carbs?
Chocolate, 과자, 떡, they
Yeah.
make me so happy.
Yes. Especially during certain times of day, I think. I don't know why, but maybe ice cream at night seems
yum.
if you're sitting watching a movie or something like that, or potato chips at night watching a movie. For me, it's always at night when I feel like eating that stuff.
For me, it's in the mid-afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I'm semi-stressed with the workday schedule. Kind of looking forward to the evening.
I
A
understand.
chocolate bar does the trick.
Got it. All right, so let's get started. You have a quiz question?
The question is, the organization that deals with things related to the world's cultural heritage is known as number 1, PPAP, number 2, UNESCO, or number 3, Hogwarts.
One more time, please.
The organization that deals with things related to the world's cultural heritage is known as number 1, PPAP, number 2, UNESCO, or number 3, Hogwarts.
Thank you very much. If you know the answer, put it on our Bundy board or use Kakao Talk or text in on your cell phone. Pardon me. Pounder sharp 1045 for 50 or 100 won, depending on the length of your text. We're giving away a premium popcorn set. All right, so let's get started with which keyword today?
Well, our first search is it the end of the road? And we're referring to President Park Geun-hye. She delivered her third national address on Tuesday. And in short, the speech did little to sort of quell the angers of citizens. It actually did the very opposite. The next day, so on Wednesday, some 30,000 people took to the streets in protest. Now, weekday protests had been going on in the past for the past several weeks, but they were usually in the order of a few hundred or a few thousand at most. So 30,000 was a huge jump. Now, tomorrow, the 6th 촛불 집회 will take place in Gwanghwamun. It's forecast to be smaller than last week's, but the march will go within 100 meters of the Blue House.
Last week was 1.9 million people
1.9
they
million.
reported.
Yeah. By the people who organized, they estimated 1.9 million nationwide.
This pops up in your segment every Friday, but you are covering the hottest news online, and this is always the hottest news online, isn't it?
It is. Usually when I click on news by the number of most views or the number of most responses, usually a fifth is sort of dealing with politics.
Yeah.
But the past few months, it has been 80%
Right.
or so.
All right, so let's move on. What else has been hot online?
The next keyword is plane crash.
Oh, yes, this is really tragic, isn't it?
Tragic. As we mentioned in the headlines, Brazil and the entire football world are in mourning after a chartered airplane crashed in Colombia, killing some 70 on board, including most members of the Brazilian soccer team Chapecoense and 21 journalists. Now, investigators are examining flight records to determine the exact cause of the crash, and signs are at the moment pointing to fuel shortage and electrical faults.
Yes, that was one of our headlines this morning as well.
exactly. Now, as news of the tragedy broke, top teams and players around the world, such as Liverpool FC and Pele, expressed condolences and paid tribute. I believe we have a video of this.
We'll get to that in a little while if we do have it. Thousands of fans, actually, of the team now are gathering at their stadiums, right?
Right, both in Brazil and in Colombia as well.
The video is now on Point and Radio.
There we go.
Yeah.
So 45,000 spectators.
Goodness me, that's really nice to see, isn't it? Showing their support for their team that they lost. What a sad story, isn't it?
Very sad, very tragic.
Okay, moving on. What's the next one?
The next keyword is goodbye Castro.
Another sad story.
Another
What a
story.
sad week in the
Sad
news,
morning
Natasha.
it is.
You're
I'm
like
sorry.
you're like the Grim Reaper.
I'm sorry, I'm bringing bad news
Yeah.
over. So former Cuban leader Fidel Castro, he passed away last week at age 90, and currently a 4-day funeral is being held in the country. Now, as you know, Steve, Castro was a very controversial, a very divisive world figure. He worked closely with Che Guevara to bring about the Cuban Revolution, and he ruled the country for around 6 decades. So proponents of Castro praise his healthcare and education reforms, but I would say many more people criticize his bad treatment of human rights. So in response to his passing, world leaders, they had to be very careful, very tactful, very diplomatic in their responses because, they couldn't go too laudatory or too critical or too crass. President Barack Obama of the US, he offered what I would call a textbook example of a diplomatic response. He said a very neutral statement. But President-elect Donald Trump, he was more colorful and didn't hesitate to call Castro a brutal dictator.
Yeah, colorful. That's a nice way to put it. And we have a short clip of tributes from some different leaders on Fidel Castro's passing.
On behalf of Sophie, our children, and myself, as well as all Canadians, I want to offer our deepest condolences on the death of Fidel Castro to the Castro family and to the people of Cuba.
That, of course, was Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada.
His response was heavily criticized for being too laudatory.
And this is France's president and his response. We don't have that one. All right. Why don't we do this? Why don't we listen to a song? I know we have a song, and we'll continue on with Hot Clicks after Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You. All right, so we're finding out what's been hot online over the last week or so with Natasha, and what is the next key word?
The next keyword is something happy for a change. Haenyeo forever.
Haenyeo forever.
Haenyeo forever.
Haenyeo are the divers, the female divers, right?
The female divers down in Jeju. So on Wednesday, they were listed as a UNESCO Cultural Heritage. Now
that's cool.
Yeah, finally. There were a lot of talks about it in the past several years to get them on the list, and they finally made it.
Oh, that's great.
The Haenyeo culture was recognized by the UNESCO for empowering women, for their eco-friendly fishing habits, and embodying regional identity. Now, what I find really remarkable about them is how simple they are. They don't need fancy equipment.
Oh, they don't use any diving equipment.
Yeah.
They use wetsuits and masks.
That's about it. They don't need oxygen tanks
Right.
or fancy fishing gear. They just hold their breath for up to 3 minutes, I believe it is.
Yeah, that's
at a time, go down, scoop it up, put it in their nets.
Yeah, it's really amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
Have you ever eaten right on the water there?
I haven't.
Yeah, I did.
What did you eat?
Fish.
Oh, what kind of fish?
Pizza.
Obviously fish. So fish
It
and
was
chips.
crazy. She went down, and 3 minutes later, she came up with some fried chicken. I don't know where she got it.
Some drumsticks.
Yeah, raw fish. Yeah, it was really cool. What a unique cultural experience
It
that
is.
was to kind of sit there and watch the diver come out of the water, and then she kind of, empties out her
Net.
her findings, and it was the freshest. You could not possibly have fresher fish, right? So that was such a really cool experience, and it's really nice to see their culture recognized as well.
It is. It's the 19th, I believe, the Korean asset on the cultural heritage list. There are other things such as kimjang, the culture of making kimchi, and pansori is another famous one on the list.
The numbers of Haenyeo are reducing, though, over the years, aren't
They
they?
are, because people are moving to the cities and produce isn't as great as before. So I think over the past 5 decades, numbers have plummeted 5-fold.
Oh, really?
Less than 5,000 active Haenyeos right now.
All right, so let's move on to our final keyword of the day.
Final keyword is gender neutrality. We're talking about public toilets.
Public toilets, gender neutrality.
Over in California, so Governor Jerry Brown, he signed a bill requiring all single-stall public toilets to be gender neutral.
All single-stalled public toilets. So that means there is no option for a men's washroom or a women's washroom because there's only one.
There's only one, and what this means is that by March of next year, the signs outside toilets that, there's the female one where there's dresses and then the men wear suits. Those signs have to be removed.
Okay.
Because toilets can't be for females only or for males only. They have to
Okay.
be open to all genders and all sexual orientation.
I understand. This is all about being politically correct.
Politically correct.
And giving the same rights to everyone.
To everyone. So
Yeah.
the obvious benefit is equality. But proponents argue that there's also a great benefit for families where the caregiver and the person being taken care of are the different genders. So, for example, if you have a father that needs to change the diapers of his baby daughter, then it'll be easier for him to use whichever toilet it is.
I understand. Well, that's an obvious benefit then, isn't it? Yeah, very good. This news has been going on for quite some time now in the United States, and I guess California, I think it'll be a long, long time before you see all states in the United States make this change, but California is considered to be one of the more progressive states.
When it comes to this issue, definitely.
Yeah, when it comes to a lot of issues, actually. Yeah.
Right, so online there are sort of interesting discussions about what sort of signs then should they put up instead of the dress or the bow. Should they have a sort of half skirt going to one side only?
Right. Well, still, many people consider this a positive change. That's for
right.
sure. All right. So can we have the answer to your quiz question now, please?
Sure. The question was, the organization that deals with things related to the world's cultural heritage is known as number 2, UNESCO.
UNESCO. And again, it's really nice news that the Haenyeo are being recognized down in Jeju Island in this sense,
That's right.
isn't it?
Congratulations.
Yeah. All right. So the premium popcorn set will go to Kim Yong-pyo Nim. I hope you enjoy your prize. Natasha, any special weekend plans? You going to start gearing up for Christmas now?
Not yet, but it's my birthday next week.
What?
So I'm going to gear up for my
Happy
birthday.
birthday. What day is it?
It's next Saturday, so can I get you to sing next Friday?
Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute.
Just getting my party ready.
You're giving us 8 days advance notice.
Getting you enough time to get me a present.
All right, everybody. So we need to remember next Friday to sing collectively.
That's right.
Happy birthday to Natasha. All right. Well, you have yourself a great weekend. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Friday then.
See you next Friday.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.